Hi, this is Spencer Colgan, your wallpaper installer. Welcome to my wallpaper and construction television YouTube channel. We are 18 feet in the air in the beautiful area of Safety Harbor in the Tampa Bay area in sunny Florida. We are installing two murals, one here and just painting over there, show them that one. And these are equal height from the floor, and they are a fine quality. It's not peel and stick, but it's actually wallpaper that comes in what's called photo wall. And you can see on the edge, each panel is about 18 inches wide, 17 inches and 3/4 wide. When they fully book and they absorb the fluid and the glue, they will be 18 inches. And they're pretty easy to identify simply because they're numbered at the top. And this is a picture. It's a picture of a forest. Now, I just wanted to show you on this video what I do with the seams for this particular paper. And these are very common, these photo wall things. What I do with the seams is this, okay? I overlap them just slightly, okay? Because after the wallpaper shrinks, I don't want to be seeing a white line, okay? I wanted to, after you get experience with this kind of wall covering, you just want to overlap it maybe a 1/16 of an inch, which isn't much, but it's just enough for the wallpaper to relax. And because when it relaxes, it pulls in and it kind of gets shorter or less wide. And so if you have a 16, you don't want too much. So I do a 1/16 of an inch so that after it absorbs the glue, expands and then shrinks back a bit, I don't want to be pulling on the paper to stretch it into place. I just want to move it over, okay? And so if you look at the seams, that's what I'm doing here, okay? So if you see the white there, that's all she's overlapped. You know what I'm saying? Like all you got to do, and look how perfectly she's falling into place there. You see that? Okay, so I don't want you going crazy thinking you can't do this. This is a little tip for you so that when you finalize your seams, or finalize them, when I say finalize them, I mean lay them down like this. They're in place, you know what I mean? And that you don't have to, the hardest part to hanging wallpaper is the seams. Well, maybe not. But one of the most difficult parts of hanging wallpaper, it's not hanging it and getting the bubbles out. Aside from the cuts, let's just say after cutting wallpaper around windows and other obstacles and other penetrations on either ceilings or walls, what is the most difficult part of wallpaper? It's actually laying the seams down. Because wallpaper is wallpaper. I mean, put it up, and you just brush it down, right? But the seams is what makes the wallpaper hang, just like the cuts is what makes the painter. And so if your seams don't overlap and they join nicely and they're inconspicuous, okay? Do not call wallpaper seams, oh, you can't see them. Don't ever say that, because it's a fallacy. It's not true. If you look closely and wallpaper, if you can't see the seams, there's probably something wrong with your eyes. If you look closely enough, you will see seams that are hidden. They're inconspicuous. That's really what we're talking about when we talk about a professional seam. They're inconspicuous. Just like on a carpet, you would see, a trained eye could see the seam. It's not that you're not supposed to see it. It's supposed to be inconspicuous. And I want you to have inconspicuous seams by letting your wallpaper soak enough. It's called the booking process. In this particular wall covering, it's 3 to 6 minutes. It's quick because it really absorbs quickly, and you can't leave it booking too long because then your wallpaper starts growing top to bottom and then it won't align. Okay, so now we want to overlap them just a little bit, and then you don't want to leave them alone because then now you have a problem with them being overlapped, and you just want to work them. Look, this is all I'm doing. And I have traction on my hand because it's slightly damp. If it's too wet, it's just gonna slide. Okay, so look what I'm doing. I'm just doing that, pushing it out, and then bringing it back in. And I can already see where the wallpaper is a little more overlapped down here than up there, which means there's a differential, something different is going on, perhaps absorption. But that's why you want to do it just slightly, because you want to be in charge of the final look and not some circumstance, an environmental circumstance such as moisture or humidity in the air or whatever. So as I get lower, I have more liquid, which is fine. But you see, now that I'm wetting it, I'm not going to have traction, so I just have to wait till that dries. The second tip I want to give you on this installation is this. This is highly pigmented wall covering. What do I mean by that? Look at all the dark colors in it, okay? Even though this is a quality wall covering, if I should rub this too much, that color's going to come off. You want to handle your wallpaper as little as possible, okay? You don't want to be pushing on it too much, pulling on it. Once you put it on the wall, it really shouldn't have glue on it at all. There should be no glue on the shell. When you bring the wallpaper in from wherever you glued it, in this particular case it calls for gluing the paper, you don't want to have any glue on it. You don't want that stuff drying on the shell of the paper. And then after that, it should be wiped down just briefly, you know, because wiping it down, it does compromise the top layer. I mean, it can only take so much friction. And this you learn after doing these about a dozen times, and you figure it out, what you gotta do. The trick is handle it the least amount of time as possible. And there you have it. I just wanted to show you that. Another thing with the seam, a third tip, I would just make you be aware of the fact that this doesn't absorb, the top layer, but underneath it absorbs. So your wallpaper, on the very edge of it, on each seam, there will be a layer of material that absorbs. So your seam is a little swollen when you first lay it up against the other one. You don't want to lay it down right away for that reason. I mean, this is something that most wallpaper installers, we don't talk about, but it's something for you to know. So if underneath it is swollen and expanding, then the very edge of it is the same way too. So if you lay this down too soon, well, it will necessarily move on you, because once the liquid evaporates, it's obviously going to retract and pull in. So that's one of the reasons why you want to slightly overlap it, okay? And there you have it. That's really the only tips I have for you on this particular seam and this particular two panels. And we'll show you the end result of it. It's going to be beautiful. And it should go fairly easily. There are very few bubbles in it. And if you do have bubbles, you have to be very careful as to what you use. You always want to check your smoothing devices. Your smoothing devices are susceptible to getting nicks in them because we cut against these things, so you always want to feel it. If there's a nick in it, you're going to scratch your wallpaper. And these things, by the way, if you're hanging your own wallpaper, you want to get several of these, okay? And we go through them. This is not something to keep for a career. This is something that you may toss out after the first job, you know? Or you might have it for a few jobs, but you always want to check it. If it falls off of a ladder, you're going to throw it out, because it's compromised and it'll scratch your paper. See, I'm just going easy. I'm just moving that glue underneath it, making sure that it's nice and even under it. Okay, this is Spencer Colgan. If you like this wall cover, you can get this and countless others at www.wallpaperboulevard.com. If you want to contact us, you can visit us on the web at www.spencercolgan.com. Call us 813-666-7002, and we are in the eastern seaboard of the continental United States. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Click on like and subscribe, why don't you? Thanks. Bye-bye.